Hi, I'm Mike Gassewitz, CEO of IAIC. Welcome to another episode of In Focus. Today, we're talking to Krishna Beharry, portfolio manager here at the firm and also responsible for our utility sector. Welcome, Krishna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good to have you on. So let's talk about utilities first. As a reminder to the listeners, that comprises basically communications companies, electrical generation hydro type companies, as well as pipelines, right?
That's right.
And
you know we're Canadian when you say hydro.
Hydro, I know. I should, exactly. Hydro encompasses not just hydroelectric power, but we still just call it hydro, don't we?
Yeah.
Why don't we chat about what we saw, say, in the fourth quarter and overall 2022? How did utilities fare?
Right. Well, for the quarter, Canadian utilities were actually down about 7.5%. And in the US, they were up almost 9%, 8.6%. And for the year, they were both relatively flat. Now, when we compare that to our core picks at IIC, we fared slightly better in the quarter, down 1.2% in Canada and up an average of 12% in the US. And if there was a theme that I could identify for utilities in 2022, it would be volatility. Due to their higher cash flows and dividends, many see utilities as an income producing investment. So when the federal bank changes interest rates as it did last year, stocks like these tend to be quite volatile.
So you mentioned, and it's we'll come back to the whole interest rate. I think we touched on it last time, so we'll come back to that as we look out to 2023.
Right.
So you mentioned it's good to hear that our picks, compared to the sector overall, seem to do better. Any standouts from our core pick perspective you want to mention?
Oh yeah, from a standout perspective, I would look at our Canadian pipelines. Pembina Pipeline is a smaller, more regional pipeline. They are a little bit more nimble and seem to not really garner as much public attention. They were up over 5% on the year. Their counterpart, however, TC Energy, is a much larger company with an international footprint, and it gets a lot of attention, especially from its politically charged Keystone Pipeline. This company was down 9% on the year.
Okay. So oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I just wanted to point those out, and we've got two opposite. They're both pipelines, but they had differing performance. So definitely standouts from the year. Absolutely.
And would you attribute the difference, just as you said, sort of the scale? One is more Canadian focused versus the international presence of TransCanada.
That's right. The bigger they are, the less nimble they can't change on a dime, so to speak. And Pembina just seems to be able to do that. Now, when TC Energy gets going, it's definitely the bigger, faster horse. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So let's look towards this year, 2023.
Right.
And like you mentioned, we're in a higher interest rate environment. The Fed and the Bank of Canada still continue to increase, although sending messages that will slow, hopefully, given what happens on the inflation front. Any thoughts then in terms of what utilities look like for 2023?
Yeah, we expect to see continued volatility in the sector, at least until interest rates start to settle down. Right now, as you said, expectations are that there'll be one, maybe two more increases for the year, and then there's a chance of a decrease at the end of the year. So we're neutral on performance, but we still expect the volatility.
Okay. All right. Any messages then to clients in terms of their holdings from a utilities perspective? Just stay the course and...
Yeah, like ahead. What we are doing. So I should back up. What we did last year was lower our weighting on utilities with the expectation of interest rate movement. We lowered our weighting, and now we're going to now that the stocks are down, we're going to take this opportunity to take advantage of the lower prices and just begin to increase those weightings slightly for 2023 in anticipation of lower rates coming. And so we just want to take advantage of those lower prices. And I should back up. Our weighting for utilities in 2022 was the lowest it's ever been. And now we expect to return to a little bit more normalized weighting in our portfolios.
Excellent. Again, really seeing our tactical asset allocation, basically these shifts as we see what's happening from a macroeconomic perspective. This is it in action right here.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Cool. Okay, Krishna, thank you so much for this.
You're very welcome.
And folks, as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your portfolio manager or your accounting firm partner or advisor. And other than that, take care.